leggings made from soft deer hide. Around your shoulders, you drape a fur mantle. Your feet slip into simple skin wrappings tied with strips of leather. Every piece of clothing has been made by someone you know. Nothing came from strangers. Nothing came from far away. Everything around you carries memories. The needle marks from your mother's careful stitching. The shell bead your sister insisted on tying to the hem. The leather cord your father braided before he died many summers ago. Objects are never merely objects. They are stories. Outside, dawn paints the valley in pale blue. Mist hangs above the river below. Moisture beads on grasses and wildflowers. The sky glows softly behind distant hills. Spring has covered everything with green. You step barefoot into damp grass. The cold makes you smile. The two dogs, Ash and Little Ear, greet you immediately. Their tails wag lazily. Ash stretches before pressing his nose into your hand. You scratch behind his ears. Dogs sleep among people, eat with people, travel with people, and sometimes mourn with people. They are family. Nearby, others emerge from their shelters, yawning, stretching. Children rubbing sleepy eyes. Smoke begins to rise from several fires. The smell of damp wood fills the morning air. Your Aunt Mira laughs softly as her son chases a chicken-sized grouse feather blowing in the wind. There are no kings here, no servants, no rich houses, no poor houses. Old Haru knows more stories. Mira is better at sewing. Your cousin Leica runs faster than anyone. But food, tools, and responsibilities belong to everyone. Life depends upon cooperation. No one survives alone. Your mother joins you by the fire. Together, you begin preparing the morning meal. Nothing elaborate. Yesterday's roasted tubers, hazelnuts, dried berries, and strips of smoked fish caught several days earlier. You grind seeds against stone with practiced motions. The rhythm is familiar. Stone scraping stone. Bird song overhead. Children laughing. Crackling fire. These sounds have surrounded humans for countless generations. Your sister emerges at last, her hair wild from sleep. She grins. You slept like a bear. You smile, and you slept like 3 bears. She laughs loudly enough to wake the baby. Everyone laughs. Little things matter. Jokes, songs, shared meals. These are what make difficult times easier. Old Haru settles beside the fire. He accepts a piece of smoked fish. His fingers are twisted from age now. He no longer joins long hunts. But nobody thinks less of him. His stories are treasures. His memory holds the locations of springs, caves, and berry patches. He remembers floods, harsh winters, years of plenty. People listen when Haru speaks. Knowledge is wealth. Memory is inheritance. As sunlight begins spilling across the valley floor, plans for the day slowly take shape. Nothing is ordered by chiefs. Nothing written. Conversations happen naturally. Some people will repair tools. Others will search for edible plants. A few men and women may track deer if signs are promising. Children will gather eggs. Grandmothers will teach. Teenagers will flirt. Life flows like water, flexible, changing with the season. You have volunteered to forage today. Spring offers gifts everywhere. Tender greens, wild onions, young roots, mushrooms, if the rains have been kind. Your mother smiles approvingly. She hands you a woven basket. Watch the clouds, she says. There may be rain. Simple advice, but valuable. People pay attention to weather, to bird movements, to insects, to the smell of air before storms. Nature speaks constantly, and everyone learns to listen. Soon, 6 of you begin walking toward the forest edge. Your sister trots beside you. Ash follows happily. Morning sunlight warms your shoulders. Dew sparkles like countless tiny stars. And somewhere overhead, geese fly north in long, wavering lines. The world feels alive, not separate from you, but around you, with you, and as your feet press into soft earth, another ordinary day begins. A day much like thousands before it, and thousands after, though no one among your people could ever imagine how many generations still lie ahead. For now, there is only today, only spring, only the valley, only family, and the gentle warmth of morning sunlight spreading slowly across the earth. The path toward the forest is familiar beneath your feet, not a path in the way distant future people might understand. No stones have been laid, no signs mark the way, but generations have walked this route. Feet have pressed the earth here for countless seasons, and your body knows where to step almost without thinking. Morning sunlight filters through the trees in long golden shafts. The air smells sweet after last night's rain. Wet moss, fresh leaves, the sharp scent of pine, and somewhere nearby, wild garlic growing beneath the undergrowth. Birds chatter overhead. Ash trots happily ahead, stopping now and then to investigate interesting smells before looking back to make sure everyone is still following. Your sister Sina walks beside you, carrying her own small woven basket. She is proud of it. She helped Aunt Mira weave it during the winter. Its shape is uneven, and one side leans slightly, but she treasures it all the same. Ahead of you walks Mira herself. Though she is your aunt, everyone simply calls her Mira. Children belong to all adults in the group. No one keeps affection for only their own. Everyone teaches, everyone comforts, everyone watches, and because of that, no child grows up without love. Mira pauses beside a patch of bright green leaves. She kneels and gently touches one. "Too old," she murmurs. Another leaf catches her attention. "This one." You crouch beside her. The young leaves are tender. Good for eating. Not bitter yet. Sina watches carefully. She wants to learn. There are no schools, no books. Knowledge lives inside people, and it is passed from hands to eyes, from voices to ears, from one generation to the next. Nothing is rushed. Children learn by helping, by watching, by trying, and sometimes by making mistakes. Soon your baskets begin filling. Wild onions, tender greens, fresh sorrel, young roots loosened from the damp earth with digging sticks. Nearby, little Joren, only 6 summers old, proudly discovers a patch of strawberries. He squeals in delight. Half of them end up in his mouth before they reach his basket. No one scolds him. Everyone laughs. His face is red with juice. Mira tells him he looks like a fox after stealing eggs. The adults smile. Small joys are important. Food gathered together always tastes sweeter. By mid-morning, the forest hums with life. Bees move lazily among flowers. Butterflies drift through sunbeams. Tiny frogs hide beneath stones. Everything feels awake. Nothing in the world seems separate. People are not masters over the land, nor are they strangers to it. You belong to the valley just as surely as the deer and the birds belong to it. You stop near a fallen tree where mushrooms often grow. Old Haru taught you which kinds are safe. Some nourish, some bring terrible sickness. His lessons live inside your memory now. Carefully, you collect only those you know. Nothing is wasted, nothing gathered carelessly. Mistakes can cost lives. Knowledge keeps everyone fed. As the sun climbs higher, everyone rests. Not because work is finished, but because rest is simply part of life. There is no race, no endless list of things waiting to be done, only what the day requires. You settle beside a stream. Cold water tumbles over stones polished smooth by centuries. Sina dips her feet in immediately and gasps. It bites. You laugh. But moments later, your own feet are in the water too. The cold feels wonderful. Mira unwraps a small bundle from deer hide. Inside are smoked fish, hazelnuts, and dried blackberries saved from autumn. Simple food, but satisfying. Everyone eats together. Nobody counts portions. Nobody locks away supplies. Sharing is survival. People remember who gives, but they do not keep score. While you eat, Mira begins singing softly, an old song, older than she is, older than Haru, perhaps older than anyone living. Nobody knows who first sang it, but everyone knows the words. Sina joins in, then little Joran, and soon all 6 of you are humming quietly beneath the trees. Music lives everywhere among your people, not as entertainment, but as memory. Songs help people remember paths, seasons, stories, and those who have gone before. After eating, you lie back against a fallen log. Above you, sunlight dances among leaves. Clouds drift slowly overhead. Ash stretches beside you with a satisfied sigh, and for a while, nobody speaks. Nobody needs to. Silence is comfortable, not awkward, only peaceful. Eventually, Mira points upward. Listen. At first, you hear only wind. Then, a distant tapping. Woodpeckers. Their rhythm echoes through the forest. Mira smiles. Rain tomorrow. Perhaps she is right. People notice these things. Birds, clouds, the scent of the air, the movement of insects. Nature offers clues if one learns to pay attention. As afternoon approaches, you continue deeper into the woods. The forest changes. Beech trees give way to pine. Sunlight becomes softer. Moss carpets the ground. And there, near a limestone outcrop, you find what you had hoped for. Red ochre. Sina's eyes widen. She kneels beside the reddish stone. Like blood, she whispers. You smile. Not blood, but earth. Beautiful earth. Carefully, you chip off several pieces. Everyone values ochre. It colors bodies during ceremonies. It decorates tools. Sometimes people mix it with fat and paint symbols inside caves. Old Haru says the ancestors did the same long before his grandfather's grandfather was born. Nobody knows exactly why. Perhaps beauty, perhaps memory, perhaps something sacred, maybe all 3. People have always made art, not because they have extra time, but because beauty matters. Stories matter. Meaning matters. As the afternoon sun begins its slow journey downward, your baskets are heavy. The day has been generous. Greens, roots, strawberries, mushrooms, wild onions, and precious red ochre, enough to share with everyone. The walk home feels easy. Children race ahead. Ash chases scents. Birdsong fills the air, and smoke rising in the distance tells you home is near. By evening, fires will glow again. Stories will be told. Food will be shared, and laughter will rise into the darkening sky, just as it has for countless generations before. And as you step out from beneath the trees, the familiar valley spreads before you once more, warm, safe, and full of people waiting to welcome you home. As you descend from the forest, the familiar scent of wood smoke reaches you long before the camp itself comes into view. Thin streams of pale gray rise into the afternoon sky. Children's voices drift across the valley. Somebody is laughing, and somewhere, someone is striking stone against stone, shaping a tool with patient, practiced taps. Home. place fixed forever, not walls of stone that will stand for centuries, but people, the people waiting there, the people who know your name, the people who remember your father's smile and your first steps, and the scar on your knee from falling beside the river when you were little. That is what home means. Sina races ahead immediately. Her basket bounces against her hip as she runs toward your mother. "Look," she shouts proudly, "strawberries." Your mother laughs and embraces her. You gathered enough for everyone. Sina beams at the praise. Children are celebrated often, not with grand rewards, but with smiles, gentle words, pride shared openly. You kneel beside the fire and carefully empty your own basket. Mira lays out the mushrooms for inspection. No one takes chances. Even after generations of knowledge, caution is respected. Old Haru examines each one with cloudy eyes. His hands may tremble now, but his memory remains sharp. He nods. Good. Everyone relaxes. Nearby, several hunters have returned. Not with a great deer, but with rabbits and 2 fat fish speared from the river. Nobody seems disappointed. Success comes and goes. People know this. Some days are generous, some are not. And so everything is shared. Nobody eats alone. Nobody stores food secretly, while others go hungry. You sit beside your friend Leica, who is scraping a hide stretched over a wooden frame. At 21 winters, she is one of the finest hide workers among your people. She grins when she sees you. Forrest was kind. You nod, kind enough. She reaches into a pouch and offers you a handful of dried plums saved from last autumn. You thank her, not because you owe her anything, but because kindness deserves gratitude. Relationships are like woven baskets, strong because many strands support one another. Leica points toward the younger children gathered near old Haru. He's telling the mammoth story again. You smile. He always tells it, and they always listen as though hearing it for the first time. No written words preserve memories. Stories must live in people. So stories are repeated, again and again, not because listeners forget, but because remembering matters. Old Haru's voice rises and falls softly. He describes a winter from his youth. Snow deeper than a man's waist. Hunters gone for many days. A mammoth found trapped in soft earth. Everyone surviving because they worked together. Children sit with wide eyes. Adults listen too, not because they haven't heard it, but because stories connect everyone to the generations before them. As the sun lowers, work continues around camp. Nothing feels separate. Work and conversation happen together. Women and men alike shape tools, repair baskets, and clean hides. Teenagers flirt shyly. Grandmothers soothe crying babies. Toddlers chase each other around the shelters. Dogs nap beside the fire. No one is ever completely alone, and no one is expected to do everything by themselves. Your mother sits nearby, grinding seeds with a stone. The rhythmic scraping sounds almost musical. You join her. Together you crush gathered roots into soft pulp. Your hands know the movement without thought. Back and forth. Steady. Simple. Comforting. The smell of roasting fish fills the camp. Someone adds wild onions to the fire. Their sweet scent rises into the evening air. Your stomach growls. Nearby, your cousin Nari is decorating a spear thrower with tiny carved lines. He notices your curiosity. Pretty things hunt better, he jokes. You laugh. Perhaps he means it, perhaps not. But beauty exists everywhere among your people. Shell beads, ochre paint, carved antlers, songs, stories. Beauty is not something people invent after survival. Beauty is part of survival. As shadows grow longer, several women sit together preparing red ochre. The stone you gathered earlier is crushed carefully between rocks, mixed with animal fat. Slowly, the powder becomes smooth paint. Children watch curiously. Your Aunt Mira smiles. She dips a finger into the mixture and paints 3 lines across little Joran's nose. He squeals with delight. Soon, several children are giggling with red marks across their cheeks. Not every use of ochre is sacred. Sometimes it is simply joyful. But tonight is special. The moon will be full, and full moons often bring songs, stories, and visits to the cave nearby. Not because anyone is forced, not because laws demand it, but because traditions connect people. As darkness slowly approaches, the evening meal begins. Everyone gathers. Old Haru, Mira, Leka, your mother, the children, the hunters, the elders, the babies asleep in soft slings. Food is placed in the center. Nobody waits for important people to eat first. Nobody owns the best portions. Hands reach, laughter rises, voices overlap. Roasted fish, wild greens, roots, hazelnuts, berries, simple food, good food. The firelight dances across smiling faces. The warmth against your skin feels wonderful after the cooling evening air. Above, swallows dart across the sky, chasing insects. And slowly, stars begin appearing, one by one. Your sister leans against you sleepily. Will there be singing? There is always singing, you tell her, and she smiles. Because some things are certain. Not tomorrow's weather, not the success of future hunts, not who may leave this world before winter, but songs. Songs will come, stories will come, the fire will glow, and people will gather close, as they always have, and perhaps always will. Nearby, old Haru gazes at the first stars appearing above the valley. He smiles softly. Then he says something he often says when evening comes. The sky remembers everyone. Nobody asks exactly what he means. Nobody needs to. His words settle gently over the camp, and for a while, everyone simply watches the coming night, listening to the crackling fire, feeling the warmth on their faces, watching children yawn, and giving thanks in their own quiet way for another ordinary day beneath the endless sky. Twilight settles softly across the valley. The last gold of the sun fades from the hills, leaving behind deep blues and gentle purples that spread slowly across the sky. The evening air cools. Smoke rises straight upward, and somewhere beyond the camp, frogs begin their nightly songs along the riverbank. The children grow quieter now. Their energy, so endless during the day, finally begins to soften. Little Joran falls asleep with berry stains still around his mouth, curled against his mother's lap while she gently strokes his hair. Nobody rushes to carry him inside. There is no strict bedtime. Sleep comes when it comes. Life follows the sun, the seasons, and the body's own rhythms. Around the fire, everyone settles closer together. Shadows dance across faces. Sparks drift upward toward the first stars. The dogs sigh contentedly and stretch beside the warmth. Ash rests his head on your foot. Little Ear curls beside your mother, and above all the small sounds of the camp, voices begin to rise. Softly at first, then together, singing, not grand performances, not songs for strangers, but familiar songs everyone knows. Simple melodies, voices joining naturally. Old Haru hums in his rough, weathered voice. Mira sings beside him. Even your shy cousin Nari quietly joins in. Children know the words too, They have heard these songs since before they could walk. Perhaps these melodies are older than anyone remembers. Perhaps they have changed over generations. No one could say. But they belong to your people, and your people belong to them. The moon rises large and pale above the hills, nearly full. Its light paints silver across the valley. Some of the younger children point excitedly. To them, the moon always feels mysterious. Sometimes people tell stories about it, not because anyone truly knows what it is, but because stories make the world feel closer. The moon watches, the river listens, the stars remember. These things are spoken naturally, not as facts, but as ways of understanding the beauty around you. After the songs come the stories. Everyone loves stories, and tonight old Haru is in the mood to tell one. He shifts closer to the fire. Children gather around immediately. Adults smile. They know this story well, but they listen anyway, because stories are not only about surprise, they are about memory, about hearing familiar words spoken by familiar voices. The raven and the winter river. Haru begins, and immediately Sina leans against your shoulder. Her eyes shine in the firelight. You know the story too. The proud raven, the hungry fox, the frozen river that teaches patience. The ending always makes children laugh, yet everyone waits for it with the same delight. Haru acts out the voices. Even Ash lifts his head as though listening. And when the fox slips into the icy water, little Joran wakes just enough to giggle before falling asleep again. Laughter spreads through the camp. Warm, gentle, comfortable. No one worries about looking foolish. Joy is shared openly. When Haru finishes, Mira tells another story. One about her grandmother. Not a spirit, not an animal, simply her grandmother. A woman who once got lost during heavy snow and survived by following birds to a hidden spring. The younger children listen with wide eyes. Real people become stories too. Their kindness, their mistakes, their bravery. Memory keeps them alive. As the fire crackles, Leica sits beside you holding a piece of antler. Patiently, she carves tiny lines into its surface. Nothing elaborate, just repeating patterns, shapes that please the eye. Beauty matters. Even when nobody else may ever see it, you watch her hands. Who taught you, you ask. She smiles. My mother. And who taught her? My grandmother, you grin. And who taught her? Leica laughs. Probably another grandmother. You laugh with her. Nobody really knows where some traditions began. They simply continue, like rivers, always moving, always changing, yet somehow remaining the same. Later, Mira rises and invites those who wish to walk to the cave. Not everyone goes. Some stay by the fire. Some put children to bed. Some simply wish to rest. There are no rules, only choices. You decide to go. So does Sina, though she nearly falls asleep standing. Ash follows behind. Moonlight guides your path. The air smells of damp earth and wildflowers. Owls call softly from distant trees, and the stars above seem endless. The cave lies not far from camp, its entrance familiar, its stone walls holding memories far older than anyone living. Inside, torches illuminate shapes painted by hands long gone. Red ochre, black charcoal, animals, lines, symbols whose meanings have faded with time, but their beauty remains. Your people visit these paintings often, not every night, not according to strict ceremony, but because being here feels important, because ancestors once stood where you stand now, because someone, many generations ago, pressed their hand against the stone and left behind the shape of their fingers. Sina stares upward. "Do you think they knew us?" she whispers. You smile. "No." She thinks for a moment. "Do you think they hoped?" The question surprises you. Perhaps because she is only 11. Perhaps because no one really knows. You glance toward the ancient handprints glowing red in the torchlight. And quietly, you answer, "Maybe." Nobody speaks loudly in the cave. Voices naturally become whispers. The place feels peaceful, not frightening, not mysterious, simply old, very old. People add no new paintings tonight. There is no need. Being here is enough. Remembering is enough. Eventually, everyone returns beneath the stars. The valley is quiet now. Most children are asleep. Only a few fires still burn brightly. The smell of smoke hangs gently in the cool air. Crickets sing. The moon climbs higher. And the world seems slower somehow. Smaller. Safer. Your mother smiles when she sees you returning. She has already spread out the sleeping furs. Ash circles twice before settling near the entrance. Little Ear sleeps beside old Haru. The babies breathe softly. Someone far away hums one final song. And as you sit beside the dying fire, warming your hands one last time, you find yourself thinking about nothing in particular. Tomorrow there will be more gathering, more laughter, more stories, perhaps rain, perhaps sunshine, perhaps surprises no one can predict. But for now, all that matters is this moment, the stars above, the warmth of the fire, and the quiet company of those you love. The world beyond the valley is vast and unknown, but here, beneath the moon and among familiar voices, everything feels exactly as it should. And slowly, very slowly, the night grows deeper. The fire has become little more than glowing embers now. Most of the laughter has faded into sleepy murmurs. Children dream in the arms of parents and grandparents. The youngest babies make soft noises in their sleep. And above the valley, countless stars stretch from one end of the sky to the other. You have seen them every night of your life, yet somehow they never feel ordinary. No one among your people knows how far away they are. No one understands the names that future generations will one day give them. But everyone knows their patterns. The bright hunter who rises in winter. The crooked cluster that signals spring. The stars that guide travelers. The stars that remind old Haru of stories his grandmother once told him. And tonight, they shine especially clearly. Without villages or cities nearby, there is only darkness and starlight. The river below reflects the moon like polished stone. The valley itself seems asleep. Only crickets and distant frogs continue their endless songs. You yawn and settle closer to the fading warmth. Beside you, Sina has already drifted asleep against your shoulder. Her rabbit skin pouch is still clutched tightly in her hand. Carefully, you lift her and carry her into the shelter. She stirs only slightly. The smell inside is comforting. Smoke, leather, dry grasses, warm fur, the familiar sense of home. You lay her gently beside your mother. She immediately curls up against her without waking. Even in sleep, people seek closeness. Nobody sleeps alone unless they choose to. Bodies share warmth. Dreams are safer together. Outside, old Haru remains awake. You notice him sitting quietly beside the embers, wrapped in a heavy fur. His white hair glows orange in the remaining firelight. He notices you and gestures for you to sit beside him. Neither of you speaks immediately. There is no need. Silence between friends never feels empty. Eventually, Haru sighs softly. "When I was your age," he says quietly, "I thought I would understand everything when I grew old. You smile. And do you? He chuckles. No. His eyes drift upward toward the stars. The older I become, the more beautiful mystery becomes. You sit with his words for a while. The crackling fire, the cool breeze, the scent of smoke. Everything feels peaceful. Haru points toward the darkness beyond the valley. I remember journeys farther than you've traveled. You listen carefully. His stories are treasures, not because they are exciting, but because they are memories. I remember rivers freezing solid, fields filled with flowers taller than your waist. I remember your father laughing. You smile softly. You remember your father too. Not perfectly, but enough. His hands, his smile, his deep voice when he sang. People leave this world, but memories remain alive in stories. Nobody is truly gone while someone remembers. Haru smiles. Tomorrow, tell Sina about him. You nod. I will. He pats your shoulder. Good. For a while, neither of you speaks. Owls call somewhere in the distance. Ash lifts his head, listens, then returns to sleep. The moon slowly drifts across the sky. Eventually Haru rises with a groan. His knees complain louder. Every winter now. He laughs at himself. My bones are older than mammoths. You laugh quietly. Not yet. He grins. Perhaps tomorrow. Inside the shelter, everyone sleeps. Your mother, Sina, little cousin Elin, the dogs, even little Joran, sprawled awkwardly across his mother's legs. The warmth inside wraps around you immediately. You settle onto your bedding of dried grasses and soft hides. The straw crackles beneath you. Above, wooden beams disappear into darkness. Tiny sparks from the embers cast faint dancing shadows across the ceiling. Your mother opens one sleepy eye. Cold outside, she whispers. A little. She smiles sleepily. Come closer. You lie down beside her. She wraps an arm around your shoulders just as she did when you were small. Though you are 19 winters old now, affection is never considered childish. Love is given freely. No one grows too old to be cared for. Outside, rain begins softly. Tiny drops tapping against leaves above the shelter. The sound is gentle, comforting. Tomorrow's plants will drink deeply. Tomorrow the mushrooms may grow. Tomorrow the valley will smell fresh and sweet. But tomorrow is far away. Tonight is enough. You think about the day, the forest, strawberries, the cold stream, songs around the fire, ancient handprints inside the cave, Leica laughing, old Haru's stories, simple things, beautiful things, no kings, no grand cities, no written books, no riches, and yet life feels full, not easy. Winter will come again. There will be hunger someday, loss too, but there will also be songs and stories and people who share what they have, people who laugh, people who remember. Slowly, the rain grows steadier. Frogs sing by the river. The fire gives one final crackle. Ash sighs in his sleep. Your sister murmurs something about berries, and somewhere in the darkness beyond the valley, deer move quietly through wet grass beneath the same stars shining above your shelter. You close your eyes. The scent of smoke clings to the blankets. Warm bodies surround you. Rain whispers overhead, and little by little, thoughts drift away like mist over the river. Tomorrow will bring another ordinary day, another sunrise, another meal shared with family, another walk beneath the trees, another story told beside the fire. But for now, there's only the gentle sound of rain, only the warmth of home, only the breathing of those you love beside you. And as sleep slowly takes you, the world grows quiet once more, until all that remains is darkness, warmth, and dreams.